Hey there, YouTube. This is Wine of our 1980 here with a review of the Friday 13th franchise. Well, let's start off with 1980's Friday 13th Part 1. I'm not going to really go into in detail with this one because I had it on my top 10 list of favorite horror movies. I'm just saying it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. It's worth a watch. I'll give that like pretty much a 5 out of 5, yeah. And finally, part two was really good. We first got introduced to see Jason in this movie. It's a really enjoyable movie. It's not as good as the first, but it's still enjoyable. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Really good. Just give it a watch. Oh yeah, and Jason doesn't have his famous hockey mask yet, and this one he actually has like a sack on his head, like a bag, like a I don't know, like a just a sack. And it's a decent design. He doesn't really use the machete that much in this movie. He only uses like once or twice. That's still pretty cool. Really enjoyable movie. Definitely check it out. Then we go to 15th Part 3, and this is the 3D version of the movie. See, it's 3D. It's popping out right there. It's pretty cool. It's a really enjoyable movie. This is the first movie, or the very famous movie, where Jason dons the hockey mask. He takes that from Shelly after he kills him, the prankster in the group in this movie, the chubby prankster kid. You know, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone knows the chubby prankster kid. It's a pretty fun movie. It's not as good as the obviously none of them in the series are as good as the first one. It's a bit better than part two. I really enjoy the fact that we get to see um Jason in his hockey mask. The recommendation about this DVD, if you're gonna get Friday Part 3 in 3D, get it on Blu-ray, because on DVD the 3D really sucks, and on Blu-ray actually has special features. This has no bonus features at all, except for the fact that it has the theatrical trailer, that it's in 3D. But still, nevertheless, check it out, it's a good movie. We have practically the final chapter. I just did a video like a couple, 5 minutes ago on this movie, saying that basically, it's a really good movie. Check it out. Really interesting. Tom Savini came back for the effects in this movie. Really good effects, really good kills. Just check that out if you want to see a little bit better. Talk about it a little bit better. Now I don't know Friday think Part 5, but I'll say that it's an okay movie. I don't know why people bash it so much just because Jason's not in it. Sure, it's not literally Jason, but pretty much is Jason. He doesn't die that easily, even here. So he gets hit with like a chainsaw like that. Like he doesn't die until the very end when he falls out a window and he like, hits a bunch of spikes. But yeah, I did not own that movie. I haven't really been catching up with them too good, but I am gonna plan on getting it. But it's a good movie, definitely worth a watch. Check it out. It's probably so far the ones that I've talked about is probably the worst one I've talked about so far. But it's not definitely not the worst in the series. Definitely give it a watch. Check it out. It's a good movie. Then we'll go to Friday Part 6, Jason Lives. This is the special edition version. It's a really good movie. This one, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that in Part 5, it's actually a continuation. Tommy Jarvis is in that one from the fourth one, but it's a different actor because he's grown up now, and Corey Feldman was doing filming the Goonies at the time. And they're basically all about all these kids in a halfway house. And then it's not really Jason because there's this guy named Roy Burns. He's a paramedic, and his son got killed by one of the people at the halfway house, and that's why he becomes a copycat killer of Jason to get revenge for his son. That's all. I just really should have mentioned that actually. I kind of went through that pretty fast. Yeah, but for part six, this one, Tommy Jarvis returns in this movie too. He at the beginning he digs up Jason's grave and try and tries to kill him once and for all, make sure he's dead for sure. But he actually like sticks a rod, like a wooden a metal rod inside him, and it's struck by lightning and it resurrects him. And that's just the story in this movie. And there's the last movie in the Tommy Jarvis, I guess, Tommy Jarvis trilogy, I guess you could say. This is the last one he's in because after this he didn't appear again until the comic book Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash Nightmare Warriors. But still, it's a really good movie. Definitely check it out. Really enjoyable. And one thing to mention about the special edition DVDs, on every single DVD that shows Jason's mask on there, you can't see because of the glare, but it actually has the Roy Burns mask with the blue what are those things called? What are those things are called? Those blue marks right here. Yeah, they're blue and they're facing up instead of like down, so it's a bit different. So this is supposed to be Jason, not Roy Burns. I don't know why they messed that up, but you can't really see it there. The glow's not too good. Sorry about the lighting, guys. And then we're gonna move into Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. A lot of fans like to call this one Carrie versus Jason because of the fact that there's this girl named Tina in the movie who has telekinetic powers, and essentially, I think the tagline for this movie is Jason's meet his match. I'm not sure what it doesn't say on here. But that's basically the theme of this movie, and this is the first appearance of Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees, and he's definitely, in my opinion, the best person who's played Jason. And the makeup of this movie is definitely the best design for Jason Voorhees I've ever seen. The makeup here, the design for Jason is so badass. Freaking love the designer here. But it sucks because the studios kept messing with this movie, so a bunch of the kills were like cut right off right before they got killed. So that kind of sucks. The gore in this movie is really light, so that kind of sucks. But unless it's still a really enjoyable movie, definitely worth a watch. So check this one out. And I also don't have Friday the 13th Part 8, but I will be planning to get it. It's a kind of controversial one in the series. A lot of people like to call it Friday the 13th Jason Takes the Titanic instead of Jason Takes Manhattan, because basically literally the whole movie is on Jason on a cruise ship instead of like the last 15 minutes are in Manhattan, and like 10 of those minutes aren't even Manhattan. It's like Chicago or something they filmed, and they like 5 minutes in that movie is actually in Manhattan. And then besides that, when they are in Manhattan, they're under the sewers, so that kind of sucks. Like we didn't get to see Jason like walking around in New York City just killing people all crazy. That would have been awesome. But this movie isn't that good at all. It's probably one of the worst. It's probably one of the worst in the series, but um, it's still enjoyable, I guess. All the movies in the series are enjoyable, but there's still, oh yeah, it's Kane Hodder still playing Jason Voorhees in this movie. The design sucks, man. Like compared to Part 7, the design in this movie sucks. Really disappointed me with the design. And now we move on to Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. In this movie, this they don't call it Friday the 13th anymore because Paramount lost the rights and they sold it to New Line Cinema because New Line really wanted it so they could get a start on Freddy versus Jason. But they never did that. They didn't do that for like another 10 years or like 10 years after they got the license. They didn't do Freddy vs. Jason. And this movie teased us at the end with Freddy's glove coming out of the hell, I guess, and taking Jason's mask. So that was pretty cool. And the Freddy's glove that's underneath the in hell that pops up is actually Kane Hodder, not Robert Englund. So that's pretty cool. That's an interesting fact. The laugh is probably just stock footage, not footage, like just audio from one of the previous movies, Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But still, it's pretty good. It's pretty enjoyable movie. A lot of people don't like about it is that the fact that it's like a body switching movie. Jason keeps switching bodies from body to body, so that kind of sucks about this movie. But it's still enjoyable. That I mean, the design in this movie for Jason's really cool, and I like how like his skin like overlaps over the hockey mask, so it's like indent into his face. So that's pretty cool. And especially yeah, this movie is actually pretty good. The design is pretty cool in this movie, so I say check it out. But don't expect much from it. I see the unrated version for sure. It's really cool with all the blood and guts and everything. Let's see the unrated version instead of the non-rated, but definitely worth a watch, I guess. Check it out. Now we get to, in my opinion, the worst of the series is Jason X. This movie just it's still enjoyable, like kind of all of them. It's just it's a campy B movie. But when you send a slasher to space, basically from then on, your series is fucked. From then on, like they really just screwed up. I mean, Hellraiser Bloodline was okay, but with Jason X, what was it? Leprechaun in Space, that was terrible, man. I know someone else got some space. I forgot who, but this movie is pretty bad, especially when you get to see Uber Jason. That was pretty stupid. It's a shame that Kane Hodder thinks that's his favorite. Says that that's his favorite design of Jason. I thought you would think it'd be a part 7, but whatever. And Jason was kind of weird in this movie before he becomes Uber Jason. His mask is a lot different than it usually is. You can clearly see both his eyes, even though one of his eyes is supposed to be completely gone. Cause in even in Friday 13th Part 7, when Jason's hockey mask gets broken off, you see one of his eyes are working, the other one's just like a skull hole right there. So that eye shouldn't be working at all. So that kind of annoys me. But you can see he doesn't look like he has prosthetics underneath his face until they actually take off the mask. This was like Kane Hunter wearing a hockey mask. So It's kind of a shame, but still, I guess check it out if you're a fan of the rest of the series. Oh, I love this quote right here from Fangoria magazine from Anthony Thompson. Jason X is a horrifying hoot and a half easily the most satisfying and entertaining of the series. Yeah, that's not true. This is not the most entertaining of the series. But it's definitely the worst in the series in my opinion. If you're a fan, I guess you could check it out. But I really do not like this movie at all. I really like the story, man. I know it's a Friday movie. Come on, man. And I guess I could watch it. I just had to have it because I got it so cheap, like $3 at Circuit City when they were going out of business. So I'm like, yeah, why not? And now we're going to the remake. I'm not mentioning Freddy vs. Jason because I already did that in a separate review today, and I wasn't planning on doing this gaming idea because I was bored, so I figured I might as well make another video. I've been making a lot of videos lately, actually. I don't know if anyone can keep up, but this one it's not too bad. I actually enjoyed this one. I saw this one in theaters when it came out opening day. It was really enjoyable. I went with a couple of friends, and it was a really fun movie. Definitely check it out. This shoot definitely has the most sex in the series. This movie's freaking the edge of being a porno in one scene. It doesn't have the best kills, but it has some pretty decent kills. Like I like that part when the guy gets like caught in the bear trap on his ankle, and then he gets like hit in the head with a machete. That was pretty cool. And the yeah, it's pretty decent deaths actually. I enjoy this movie. The deaths are pretty decent. And Jason's a lot smarter in this movie. He runs. I think he grunts a few times too. And he actually has like a holster for his machete. He made himself. He has like his own layer where he sharpens it and everything. So, so it's cool to see Jason be a lot smarter in this movie. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's definitely a really good movie. I really enjoyed this one when I saw it in theaters, and definitely worth a watch. Now I'm going to briefly mention the documentary that came out that same year. His name was Jason. It's not the best documentary, but it's actually a pretty good documentary. It's really enjoyable. It talks from all the original series from 1 through 8, and the New Line series from Jason Goes to Hell 2 versus Jason. Then it goes to a slight bit of the remake, but they don't really go too in depth with these things, so that kind of sucks about it. But I guess it's worth watching. It has some decent special features. It says Fangoria code a must have for any cost for Jason fans. I wouldn't say for any cost, but this movie it's, the most I would probably pay for this is $14. I got it for $5.99 at Walmart, so that's pretty cool how that worked out. But there's the back right there if you want to see. Definitely check it out. It's a pretty good movie. I mean, pretty good documentary. It's not as good as like the Psycho Legacy or Never Sleep Again. This doesn't go too in depth with it, but still a really fun documentary. Definitely worth a watch if you're a fan of the series. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. This is one of our 1988 saying goodbye, YouTube.